Today's lesson is lesson 3 of the number system integers, and it's subtracting integers. If you have not mastered lesson 2, adding integers, then please do not do this lesson. Go back and watch lesson 2, adding integers, until you are really secure with it before you do this lesson. Okay, we have 3 objectives for this lesson. The first is to subtract positive integers using a number line. So we'll have something like 3 minus 6, and we'll use the number line to find the answer. Second objective is to subtract negative integers using a number line. So if we look at this example, we see that our second integer is negative, and we're subtracting it. So we have 4 minus a negative 5, and we're going to learn how to do that. And finally, our third objective, which we probably won't do all in one day. So objectives 1 and 2 will be part 1 of this lesson, and objective 3 will be part 2, which is to use rules to subtract integers. Just like we did with adding integers, sometimes the numbers are too large to practically use a number line, so we need to use the rules, which are essentially the same, with just a couple new things to remember. Okay, first important thing is that subtracting integers is the opposite. It is the opposite of adding integers. So I want you to think about the direction we go in on the number line. When we are adding a positive number, we go right on the number line. And when we subtract a positive number, we go left on the number line. When we add or subtract a negative number, we do the opposite. So if we add a negative number, we go left on the number line. So for example, adding a positive number would be like doing 6 plus 3. We would go right. If we're adding a negative number, we might have 6 plus a negative 3. And this is the same as 6 minus 3. Just like when we subtract, we go to the left. When we add a negative number, we also go to the left. If we subtract a negative number, so this would be like 6 minus a negative 3, we're going to do the opposite of when we subtract a positive number, so we're going to go to the right. So 6 minus a negative 3 is the same as 6 plus 3. Okay, let's look at how this works with some examples. So the first example, we have 8 minus 4. Like we did before, we're going to start on 0. We're going to go to 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we're going to subtract 4. So we're going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when we do 8 minus 4, we get 4, and that's something that you should be able to do fairly easily. The next example, let's go over to this example. We're going to do 3 minus 5. So again, we start at 0. We move in the direction of the first number, 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to subtract 5. So we're going to go 5 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Let's go to this example next. This example next. For this example, my arrow's not working there. We start at a negative 7, so we're going to start at 0, move left to negative 7, and then we're going to subtract 3, so we need to go 3 to the left. So negative 7 minus 3 is negative 10. In our last example, we're also going to start with a negative and then subtract. So we're going to go 6 to the left. And then we are subtracting 2. Let's see, we have some green there. So we're going to go 2 to the left. So negative 6 minus 2 is negative 8. For the quick check, you're going to do these on your own, so pause the video and then come back and check your answers. Okay, for letter A, we're starting with a positive 7. So we're going to start at 0, move 7 to the right. And then we're going to subtract 2. So you'll go 2 to the left. 7 minus 2 is 5. For letter B, we're going to start by going 4 to the right. And then we're subtracting 6. So we're going to go 6 to the left. 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 minus 6 is negative 2. For the next example, we're starting with negative 3. So we're going to go 3 to the left. And then we're going to subtract 5. So we're going to go 5 to the left. Negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8. Okay, our next set of examples, we're going to subtract a negative number. Okay, so for our first example, we have 3 minus a negative 4. Our first number is positive, so we're going to move 3 to the right. Now, remember when we subtract a negative, we do the opposite that we would do if we were adding a negative. So if we were adding a negative number, we would go to the left. When we're subtracting a negative number, we're going to go to the right. This is something that a lot of people have trouble keeping straight, but minus a negative always becomes a positive. Okay, I kind of think of it as when those two negative signs are right next to each other, they're attracted to each other, they snap together, and it becomes positive. So 3 minus a negative 4 is the same as 3 plus 4. Okay, so we're going to go right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 minus a negative 4 equals 7, just like 3 plus 4 is 7. Okay, let's look at this example next. We have negative 3 minus a negative 8. So we're going to start by going 3 to the left. And then we're going to move 8 which direction? I hope you thought to the right. We're subtracting a negative, so we're going to move to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Negative 3 minus a negative 8 is 5. And this is the same answer we would get if we did negative 3 plus 8, because we'd start at negative 3 and then we'd go 8 to the right. Okay, next example, we have 4 minus a negative 6. We're going to start by going 4 to the right. And then when we subtract a negative, we also go right. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 minus negative 6 is positive 10. Our last example, we're starting with a negative 7, so we're going to go 7 to the left. And then we're subtracting a negative 9, so we're going to move to the right. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Negative 7 minus a negative 9 is positive 2. And again, we could rewrite this as negative 7 plus 9, and we would get the same answer. And to go to our previous example, we could do 4 plus 6, and we would get the same answer. Okay, quick check. Once again, you are going to do this on your own. So pause the video and then come back and check your answer. Okay, for our first example, we're going to go right 5. And then we're subtracting a negative 2, so we're going to go right 2. 5 minus a negative 2 is positive 7. Next example, we're starting with a negative 10. And then we're going to subtract a negative 4, so we're going to go 4 to the right. So negative 10 minus a negative 4 is negative 6. And our last example, we're starting with positive 3, so we'll go 3 to the right. And now we're subtracting a negative 7, so we're going to go 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the right. 3 minus negative 7 equals 10. So rule to remember, subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive. And technically we should write number in there. Subtracting a negative number is the same as adding a positive number, but we'll make it a little more brief. Okay, at this point, this is the end of part 1, so you can stop the video here and you can pick up where you left off the next time you come back. These are part 2. We're going to use the rules to do this. Now, when we use the rules for subtraction, when we are subtracting a number, it's the same as if we are adding its opposite. So 95 minus 32 is the same as 95 plus a negative 32. This is helpful sometimes because I want you to take time to circle the signs in front of the number so you really are paying attention to whether the signs are the same or different. So this number has nothing in front of it, so it's positive. This has a negative in front of it, it's negative. One number is positive, one number is negative. The signs are different. When the signs are different, we subtract and keep the sign of the larger number or the number with the larger absolute value. Remember, absolute value means the distance from 0 on the number line. So in this case, 95 has the greatest absolute value, so our answer is going to be positive. So I'm just going to go off here to the side and do 95 minus 32. 5 minus 2 is 3. 9 minus 3 is 6. So my answer is 63. Now, it's not necessary to always rewrite it. You could circle this number, and then you can circle up here. You have to make sure you always circle every sign to the left of the number. Okay, let's take a look at the other one. This one we are going to have to rewrite because we have minus a negative 11. Remember that when we subtract a negative, it's the same as adding a positive. So we have 13 plus 11. So this looked like a really confusing problem, but it's really not. It's really just 13 plus 11. And 13 plus 11 is just 24. And that's the answer. The answer is positive, and we are done. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Let's rewrite it first. We have negative 23 plus a negative 45. So this number is negative. This number is also negative. We could also have just circled the signs up here. So same signs, add and keep. These numbers are both negative. They have the same sign. So we're going to add them, but we're going to keep that sign, which is negative. So our answer is going to be negative. When I add the two numbers, I'm not going to write the negative signs because I'm just adding. 5 plus 3 is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. I already wrote my negative sign, so my answer is negative 68. Okay, our last example, I'm going to rewrite this as negative 16 minus a negative becomes a positive 72. So I have a negative 16 and a positive 72. One is negative, one is positive. The signs are different. Different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the larger number, and then you'll be exact. So the larger number in this case is the 72. So my answer is going to be positive. I'm just going to write a positive sign there so I don't forget. When I subtract, I always start with a larger number on top. So I'm going to do 72 minus 16. This becomes 56, and my answer is positive, so I have positive 56. Okay, moving on to the quick check. I would like you to try this by yourself. I want you to remember that for C and D, you have minus a negative, so make sure you rewrite those problems as plus instead of minus before you circle the signs and solve the problem. Okay, pause the video, come back when you're ready. Okay, letter A, I'm going to circle the numbers and all the signs. I have positive 97, negative 24. The signs are different, so I'm going to subtract, keep the sign of the larger number, and then I'll be exact. So my answer is going to be positive. 97 minus 24 is 73. Letter B, I'm going to circle the numbers and the signs to the left. Okay, both are negative. Same signs, add and keep. I need to keep the negative sign, but I'm just going to add these numbers. So I'm just going to add 13 plus 51, which is 64. So I have a negative 64. Letter C I need to rewrite. So minus a negative becomes positive 18. And this is just simple addition. So writing it out vertically, I have 64 plus 18. 8 and 4 is 12. 6, 7, 8. So I have 82, and that's just positive 82. This one I'm going to rewrite. Negative 29 minus a negative. A lot of times I think about that. I say minus a negative, and it just becomes plus. Minus a negative, minus a negative. Okay, at any rate, let's move back down here. Plus 43. So we have one number that's negative, one number that's positive. So we need to subtract and keep the sign of the larger number, which is 43. So 43 minus 29. I'm going to regroup here. I have positive 14. Okay, we're going to stop there. Thank you for watching.